So we can't cut things. Got it.
All right, so you're good to go.
Okay, pursuant to GL Chapter 30A, 1825, you're hereby notified of the meeting that includes this agenda. This is an open town hall meeting of the Board of Health, November 23rd, 7 o'clock. 23rd, yeah. And we're going to start it. 7 o'clock we open. Local upgrades, none. Steve Donatelli for review only, none. COVID-19 update, Cheryl couldn't make it, so we have none. Approve the minutes, we don't have the minutes, so we have none. Old and new business, that I know of, anybody? Okay. Review fee schedule. So, why don't we go to the long one first, the 3 pages? What we did here is, this hasn't been changed since 7/1/2015. Rate of inflation is around 20%. So we went up 20% for all the regulations. So that's how we came to these numbers. So across the board, it was a 20% increase. As I said, we haven't done it since 2015. So 6 years is plenty. The one thing I want to look at, the funeral director license, it was marked as annual 4/01 April 1st, and I think that was probably a typo in the old one, so I want to see if we can change that to January 1st. Yeah. So if you want to go down fee by fee, or do you want to take a look at them, and then if something jumps out at you that you want to talk about, then we'll do that.
Hey, take a quick look at it. I mean, you're doing 20% across the board, so it's pretty even spieled, right?
Do they keep track of how much we get from each one of these, like by category? So how many
Yeah.
beaver permits per year? How much revenue is
Yeah.
generated from that?
Yeah.
They keep track of it?
Yeah. And what the breakdown is between the departments.
The outdoor wood boiler, I don't know, it says no charge. The list kept in the office, operational time is from 10:15 to 5:15. So I don't know what we don't go out and inspect those or anything, right? I mean, remember we had issues there for a while, years
Yeah,
back.
I don't think it's the Board of Health that gets involved in it, so
Okay.
I think they have a permit fee through
Like
maybe
building?
Okay.
That's right.
Building or plumbing, because basically it's heating there inside.
Okay. I didn't change the copies, all the way down on the first page, copies including search fee under 25 cents a page. I kept it at that, and then $1 per page for the bigger copies. And then underneath that, the hourly search fee and hourly rate not greater than the prorated hourly wage of the lowest paid Board of Health employee who is capable of performing the task. So that would be it. That fee is sort of up in the air as to what it would be, this Cheryl or Judy, what their pay would be, and that's what they'd have to charge for the hourly wage. So there's no real fee attached to that. I asked Steve what the hours would, the $45 per hour would be, whether or not that has to be changed significantly, and he said, no, not really. He said only about 10%. So we went up to $50 an hour on that.
Does Steve do that, or does the other guy do the food inspections? Is that
The other
for
guy
him?
that does the food inspections
Yeah.
does it.
Okay.
Does he know then? I mean, what?
Steve knows, yeah, Steve
so
knows.
Steve knows
he
how much
deals
it
with
is.
it with the Board of
Okay.
Health, yeah. I'm sure he knows what the hourly rate's going for. I don't.
I don't really see, I mean, none of these fees are exorbitant, that it's gonna be backbreaking. It's a matter of like 10, 20 bucks on a lot of them.
Yeah, that's what it seems like.
And of course, I couldn't get them all on one page. I had one straggler. So if you're comfortable with that, oh, hi Diane.
Hey. It's chilly out there, huh?
I don't feel it.
It was cold. Yeah, we just went through the first list. It should be on there. It's got 3 pages to it.
Yeah,
And that's the regular fees. We went up 20% on all of them.
it's a
And that's
good,
how we come to the number.
that's a good
so.
figure.
And it wasn't really anything that stood out, and, you know, I think the highest increase was like $40. So, if you wanna take a look at it, and then we'll entertain a motion to pass them so that we could have them ready to go for a public meeting.
Are there any new fees on here, or are they all just the same fees, just we've increased them?
I think they're all the same.
Yeah, and this one it is, yeah.
Okay.
Are we charging for reviewing,
We're
Title-
not on Title V yet, we're on this one.
what is this?
Sorry, that's the Title V one.
Which one are you on?
This one, the other.
This one's
You're on
just
this
the,
one?
all the general fees, yeah.
It's the general fees. It starts off with beaver permit. That's the 20%.
Do we have that many beavers? Do you really want to go up on beach permits? Because that's usually for just the residents, isn't it?
Well, it's been the same since 2015.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beach permit. It's mostly for kids.
I think it's most of them wants to pay $60.
Well, is that for the resident? It says permit and initial inspection. Is that Judy going down and inspecting the beach, or is that the cost of the?
Yeah, I think it's the permits to open
Yeah.
the beach. I don't think it's for actual,
Residents have to pay to go to that beach, don't they?
Yeah, you get like a beach pass
I
for
don't
like
know, I
$30
don't
or
go, I
something.
don't know. But it says, yeah, it does say for permit and initial inspection, so it must be for,
I thought the beach permits was only like $25, huh?
I think it was like $30
Residents.
or something for
This
residents.
might be for outsiders. We'll jack it up even more than, no, I'm not kidding.
yeah, but it includes permit and initial inspection, so it's gotta be Judy going down,
Yeah, I
Cheryl or someone
think I
going down
remember
there for
her
it.
Well,
saying-
usually they do water quality testing.
Yeah,
That's usually what they do. That's about all they inspect at that. Is they test the water once a week when the season's open.
Well, certainly we could keep it at 50 if that's the prevailing attitude.
That's the only one I mean, because it's mostly kids and families that go there. Do we really want to go up? If the 3 against me, then we'll go up.
I guess I'm unsure what the permit's for.
Lifeguards? Cleaning?
What?
To have lifeguards down there to,
No, but
Yeah.
who's paying the permit? Because of the way it says permit and initial inspection next to it.
I know, because I thought the permit would just be for people who want to use the beach.
You get the
Correct, that's what
permit for
a
the
beach
season.
Permit, like why,
Right.
if you call it a beach permit, right, it would be like getting your sticker or something. for
It's
the-
to use the beach. It's usually a permit for the family
Right,
to
you
use
get
the
a
beach.
sticker or something you put in your
right.
car or
I
whatever.
don't think so. I think that's a pass, because I've bought the passes before.
Oh,
This
okay.
permit, to me, is
Right.
Judy to go down and test the
Right,
quality
to
of the
open
water.
it.
She
because
doesn't test it. It's usually an outside company that does it.
I think she's done it in the
It
past.
goes to an outside company.
But
because-
maybe maybe they have to pay for a permit because it's considered a town beach. They have to be permitted for that, maybe? No?
No, we do it with our beach. It's just we have to, the quality of the water has to go to a testing facility. I mean, somebody, I think they even come down and take the water, because it's gotta be taken at a certain depth. I don't know on that one.
All vehicles must park in. $50 day passes are $5 per person per day. Seasons passes are valid for a family living in Sutton. So it is a $50 pass.
For the year?
Yeah.
For the season, yeah, which is, what, part of June, July, and August, and then it shuts down.
Wait a minute, Sutton residents, season passes are 25, non-resident seasons pass is 50.
Right, so we'd be going up to 60 for a
Okay, it's for
non-resident.
non-residents, but that's, I mean, that's not what it says, but that's, if that were going up on the non-residents, if that's fine.
Let's make a note on that.
Yeah, I think we might want to clarify that, because I don't think
Yeah.
that that's what that is.
Okay. All right. I know that the camps always give us some issues and stuff, but I don't think that 20% increase should be an issue. When we can we make the motion to
You can't go up
accept it?
on the milk permits.
Huh?
You can't go up on the milk permits. You're gonna keep that at 10. I think that is a state or federal. You can't go up on that. Because we've been trying for years to go up on that, and it was explained the reason why. It's either state or federal, it has to stay at 10.
All right, I'll keep that at 10.
Do we have vending machines?
2015, maybe.
That's the only one I know we can't go up on. The only one I would question would be churches. Can you go up on churches? Can the town go up on churches? That's the only other one I would question, was the churches. Can we go up on them?
Well, and I don't see why you couldn't.
I know, but the town has certain regulations, and I don't know if we can or can't on that. I know we can't on the milk. I don't remember if we can or can't on the church, because I don't think we've gone up on the church at all. I think we should question that just before we can vote on this with the exception of making sure that we can go up on the church.
Oh, nonprofits for that matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it's $5.
Huh?
It's only $5.
I know, and I don't see any legal reason why churches would be exempt from an increase. I mean, we're not taxing them, so it's not like,
I just don't know.
okay. So if we want, we can make a motion to accept it with clarifying the beach permit, the churches and the nonprofits.
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept these increases. and it will go towards, this will go towards the town meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Second.
Good.
Or if you want, we could just not do the churches and the nonprofits. It's $5.
I'd rather remain consistent, because if we say we've gone up a flat 20% across everybody,
Well,
then I
okay.
think it just makes it easier.
Yeah, you'll have the people squawking. It's just somebody. That makes sense. All right. Title V, you wanna, that would be you two guys more than anybody. You
Yeah.
wanna look at that?
So I know you were questioning the Title V.
Well, when they go and
Filing
review the Title V reports, I think they should be charged for that. I think the person submitting the Title V report needs to be charged, because somebody's gotta look at it, and that takes time. That's not a one-page report.
Right.
So I think there should be a small fee involved in that.
Is that the plan review
Well,
revision?
that's, all the rest of these I'm fine with. I actually tried to send a text, but I'd like to clarify that. Well, I don't remember
What?
the Title V filing fee.
The very bottom?
I
Yeah.
don't think we had a Title V filing fee.
No, we don't, because nobody reviews them right now. So Steve was
They have
gonna
to be
review.
reviewed.
No, they don't. They file them.
They just,
Just file them.
oh, they gotta be
Steve,
reviewed. That's why we had that problem with one passed, one didn't.
No.
So, and those are good for, once the Title V is done, it's good for, what, 2 years?
2 years, 3 if you pump every year.
What?
Same as the COC. 2 years, 3 if you pump it every year.
I think we should charge for those, because
I do
some,
too. I just want to get clear. For some reason, I don't think this is typed in there right. Like,
Where is that?
so the Title V inspection report filing fee.
We had,
We didn't have a fee there at all. We weren't
right,
charged.
but we had a spreadsheet of about 6 or 7 other towns. And
Right.
that's where we got, I think at one point, like I wasn't just adding fees in.
Right,
We talked about fees that we didn't have that maybe we should.
right.
But if you guys feel as though that we don't, I mean, none of us are,
I mean,
Right, well,
it's not like we have a lot of them, but they do need to be reviewed.
Right.
so you think the report filing fee should be like a lesser amount, a nominal amount?
Yeah,
Like a 50, 75 or something?
yeah. That seems high to me, and I'm just, I couldn't remember what. I remember having a conversation with Steve, but I don't remember 100%
What were you thinking of a price? I was thinking more like 25, just to have him review it and
No,
file it.
50 to 75 is pretty common on the towns that have fees that review them. There are some that are really high. This is fairly high. But if he's going to review all of them, we got to cover his
Yeah, it's 50?
pay.
I think they should be reviewed. I think we
Right.
need to know which
50
ones
to
fail.
75 is very easy, very common.
Yeah, and if they fail, we need to know about it. Something's gotta be done.
Right, and just have them filled out correctly, you know what I mean? In
Yeah.
the right
Oh, yeah.
forms, you know, the last updated form is 2019. You know, people are still turning in 2012 reports that they print offline. That's not even the right report. You know what I mean? It's been updated several times,
Yeah.
and they change it. You know, the 2016 report said that if you have a laundry system, it's to have its own separate report. The new report says to include the laundry system in that report. You know what I mean? So they
Yeah.
really changed the reports, you know? So just reviewing to make sure that they have it on the right form. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? When they get filed, and a lot of towns do that because they don't charge a fee, they're not getting paid to look at them,
Right.
and they don't have qualified help to look at them. The secretaries are just making sure they're signed and dated, and
Yeah, that's not enough. It's
they
gotta be-
file
yeah.
them, you know? But,
Is there different levels of complexity, like, or are they all pretty much the same? So he can just kind of be on a roll and go right through them?
yeah, you can
Yeah.
glance through them pretty quickly and
Okay.
see, you know what I mean? You kind of look at the year of the system and, you know what I mean? It's all cut and dry, but if you can see if it's a cesspool, all right, wait a minute, you know, open your eyes and look at this, see if it makes sense.
You would think that if there was a fee attached, they're more likely to actually look at it? Or is that going to change the way?
Steve would review them.
Oh, I see,
Yeah,
okay.
he would definitely
Oh,
review
okay.
them, because
So it
you're
wouldn't be-
looking at, you're looking at,
And not just the further evaluation ones.
right,
he would
water
review
treatments, and there's a lot you have to look at today, because people do a lot with it. Houses are very complicated today, so they have to be reviewed.
Right, I've seen reports go through where it's, their SAS is under, all the variants that we grant for under 100 feet. Every time they sell their home or do a Title V inspection, they require a well test. The people do the well test, it comes through as a pass if you attach the well test to it. So if it comes through as a pass, the Board of Health really doesn't have to look at it, but they failed their water test. Like, no one even looks at it, it just goes in the drawer. And their well is full of coliform bacteria, So they
Or
definitely
it's
need
10
to
feet
be,
away from the system.
right, they definitely need to be
Yeah,
reviewed.
yeah.
It's just, I'm unsure on that, I can't remember where we established that fee.
Is that something that we should have Steve go back in the downtime and do some kind of an audit back a few years?
I
and see
don't
what's
think
out
that
there?
would even apply, because once they do a Title V, they're gonna be selling the house, and they usually do it because they're selling the
So-
house. So it's just gonna be
So
from now
Steve
on that these should be
replied to
done.
me, so
So
how
we're
should I do
catching
this?
Going forward.
wells that are contaminated,
record,
but
I'd
the
say
septic
Steve.
passes. We're catching, they don't, the well's not where it's supposed to be. I mean, so if he looks at it, he'll be able to tell.
So it is written wrong, that's what we talked about. So he said, any further evaluations from the Board of Health would be a $125 filing fee. So that's a little,
Too high.
that's tricky though.
That's
To
very high.
do two different fees, and then, he was gonna review all the other reports, but no filing fee. So I think it would be a lot easier to do a $50 fee across the board.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the other ones will pay for the ones he has to spend more time on, because he has to look at all of them,
Right, some will be quick, others will be,
be more involved.
right, so 50 you think would cover it?
I think 50 across the board for any Title V.
Do you want to word that differently, the Title V inspection?
No, that would be a Title V inspection report filing fee. That's the way it should be worded. It wasn't worded right for the way that he wanted to do
Gotcha.
it.
Okay,
We're doing 50 on that?
Yeah.
yeah.
Now, if the reports come back and it's failed, how is that handled? How do we handle that if there's a failed report? Do we notify the homeowner that something has to be done?
Basically, they have 2 years to become in compliant with it. Right now, we can establish, that's not something that we have to put in. We can do something with that later on. Nothing to do with the fees, so we can have
Right.
Steve tell him to send out a quick letter, a
quick
generic letter
that-
saying
right.
you have
So
2
there's
years
something in file.
you have 2 years to come
So
within
that nothing
compliant.
is, right, nothing is done in the meantime as a Band-Aid, and then they do another Title V.
Yep.
So I think that the letter has to go out so we can talk to Steve and send a quick, he can have a standard letter saying,
Yeah,
that.
but that's,
just-
once he starts reviewing them, then we can come up with all kinds of,
Yeah.
whatever we want him to do as far as that stuff goes.
Yeah.
What's the difference between septic disposal works construction permit and septic disposal works single component construction
That's if
permit?
a D-box fails, that's a component, or just the tank fails, that's a component. But if the whole system fails, it's a whole new system.
Got it, okay.
And sometimes you will get a D-box that fails, or you will get a tank that's cracked or not working right, and they just replace that.
Right, 7 out of 10 inspections need a component
Yeah.
replacement for the most part. Especially, believe it or not, with the newer systems, the more the air they see, the higher systems, the components rot out quicker. So you guys all set with that? or?
Yeah, everything looks good, everything looks,
So I make a motion to accept the new fees. for the Title V regulations, with the correction on the Title V filing fee to $50 instead of $125.
I second it, and that will go towards the town meeting, right?
Yep.
So in theory, these would go in effect 1/1/2022?
When's the meeting? When's the
I
town
don't know if-
meeting?
I don't know if we can, what's it, how many weeks out on the certified letter? I mean, the, when it's announced?
2 weeks, I think, isn't it?
Well, the system, the season doesn't open until spring now. There's not that many systems anyways being done in the winter.
He
So,
doesn't close, yeah, he's not closing it though.
We haven't
Steve.
hit the cool weather yet. He's not closing it yet, but after the town meeting, and it gets,
Right, but I
voted.
think it's 2 weeks notification
Yeah.
that you have to get, right? They need 2 weeks to do all their,
yeah, I think so.
That sounds right.
at least.
Start, right, it's illegal, right.
All right. So the last thing we have, and Diana, you might have a copy in your, is the well regulations?
Well regulations?
Yeah.
Do we have to go through these or no?
We are, that's the, what
that's
we
the
just
same.
did. Yeah,
Got it.
that's just
Okay.
a
It's just a different-
explanation of how we got here.
Of the well
Got it.
regulations.
Well regs.
Kenny, you want to take the lead on that,
On which one?
on the well stuff?
So,
I don't have a copy of the well regulations. Do you have an extra one?
Yeah, I got one.
yeah. So I believe the only changes that we had in mind on the well regs were we were eliminating the testing on the irrigation wells. And I believe that we were going down to the state guidelines on the private well water testing instead of having the
All that,
extravagant one that we have in play right now.
yeah.
So I think those were the only changes that we were doing.
Now, is there something in the well
We're
regulations?
gonna add the sign for the
Right.
inside on the
Oh,
irrigation
right, right.
wells.
I remember that.
Is there any in the well regulations where they can't tar over the well?
It's supposed to be, the head of the well is supposed to be 18 inches above
Right, we had that
surface.
put in.
That's a state reg.
Well, it wasn't before when we were doing the well regulations
Yeah.
and we had it put in. But they can't tar over a well.
No, I mean, no, it's supposed to be accessible.
But is there anything in our regulations that states that?
I think in the state guidelines alone, I don't think in our local regs.
I've just found it an issue in the past. They've tarred right over the well. So the well's over there somewhere. No, the wells that are already buried and you can't find them, there's nothing we can do about that. We just leave them like that?
Yeah.
There is a line that says, for wells completed above grade, the casing shall extend at least 18 inches above the finished ground surface.
Yeah, that's new wells.
Okay. That's what you wanted, right?
Well, yeah, we had put that in last time, but,
Okay.
I know in other towns I've dealt with, whenever they do permits or whenever they do anything in Title Fives, I mean, the towns step in and do whatever they make them, bring it to compliance, they make them extend it 18 inches above grade. And you can, if that's something that you want to do. But we can make the recommendation to them that they bring it up.
A lot of wells that are buried, a lot of wells, they don't know where, they estimate where they are.
Right, they can find them. There's companies that'll find them. We've had to find them. We've had towns make us find them. So you can send a locator out and find them.
All right, that was my only question on that. I don't know if I had another one. On these Title V regulations, and do we have anything on the actual septic designs? Are we still doing hand-drawn septic designs?
We still allow them, yeah.
We still are here? Shouldn't we change that so that it's gonna be computerized?
No, I don't think so. Why?
Because I find a lot of problems with those hand-drawn ones.
It's up to Steve to catch him. I mean, just tell him that he has to, you know what I mean?
I don't know if he catches them unless you're actually out there installing, then find out that's not where, that's not right, you know.
Scales off. is what he
Something's
said.
off, yeah. And that's, I find a lot with those hand drawings, so I'm wondering if we should,
There's not too many people doing them anymore. It's a couple old timers. I think
Yeah,
you're gonna
just a
find
couple.
they're just gonna eliminate themselves pretty
Yeah.
soon. You know what I mean? I know ones
I know a
that
couple.
we see a lot is kind of
We don't have to mention it.
right. It's
Yeah.
kind of going away. So
Yeah.
there isn't too many more. Couple. I think they're gonna just go away themselves. You know.
Because when they do the as-bills, it's an overlay on the original one that's done on a computer so that, you know, you can see it. But when they do the
I know-
hand-drawn ones,
Yeah, one's pretty local.
yeah.
So I
But
mean,
every time I've seen that person's drawing, there's been a problem.
yeah. But I find, I mean, I look at not that you don't look at a lot, but I look at a lot, and the computer ones are way off too. I mean, it's really, yeah, it's scary, but it's true. I mean, it looks more professional, but they're still way off. It's all on whoever's doing them. You know what I mean? If they're not doing it right or scaling it right or even showing the stuff in the right place or shooting in
Yeah,
the
and
right
you pick
place.
up on that in the installation anyways.
Right, they can plug in a number wherever they want. Oh, I forgot to shoot the well. Let's plug that in here, you know, and it's not right, you know.
Yeah,
So, but I know what you mean. I mean, some of them, there were some quite a few years ago that were pretty nasty. You couldn't even read.
yeah.
But the
Yeah.
few that are left, we'd brought that up. Was it last year or something? We talked about that with the hand drawn ones. I think we just let it be.
Yeah,
I
because a
think
lot of
it's-
the other towns are going, they're gonna be computerized, they're not gonna do any.
Yeah, they're just phasing them. There's only.
I don't know how many you see. I only see, I don't
Yeah,
know.
there's very few of them left that do that.
Yeah, okay, all right.
So where are we with the wells?
The wells, basically, I'm okay. You guys okay with what we got? So we make a motion to basically modify our well regs. So our irrigation wells, we're eliminating our testing on. And our drinking wells, we are eliminating our testing and going back to the DEP state mandated testing.
Okay.
And you're adding that label.
Adding the
Yeah, the
label
label
on the
for
irrigation
irrigation.
wells, a permanent label inside the home, labeling that it's for irrigation only, not potable water.
Okay.
Not acceptable drinking water.
Yes.
I want to go back to the majority, to the motions.
Oh, he just made a
I
motion.
just made a motion for
Yes.
that.
Second.
Okay. The proposed fee, the Title V, I was just looking at my notes from the last meeting, and if you go down on this one, if you go down to decommissioning septic system abandonment, we had talked about putting a $75 fee on that.
On the tank abandonment?
Yeah, my note says as single component. Decommissioned septic system abandonment as single component,
That's not in here.
$75. There's no fee there at all.
Decommission well, decommission septic. Oh, yeah. So we need to oh geez, so how do we do that? I didn't even catch that.
Why would we charge a fee for, what do you mean
Because it's supposed to be
decommissioning?
witnessed. Steve's supposed to witness it, decommissioning. So if you decommission a septic system, not part of, so a decommissioning on a new system or a repair is included in that fee. But a lot of times we've gone back, people find them, and we pull a permit and go decommission it. So when you pull a permit just to decommission a septic
It's
system.
not too many of those,
No, but it happens.
yeah.
So Steve says he's gone out and done them. So if he's already done them, he hasn't been here that long. So they do happen. Especially you get into the side of the town that has sewer. You know what I mean? People find them all the time that didn't decommission
Yeah, we
them.
found them with the equipment once.
Yeah. Yeah, and people fall through ones that,
Yeah.
that nobody did anything wrong. They just didn't even know they existed.
Yep.
So when somebody does it right, they go in and pull a permit. And Steve has to go out and witness it, and they have to
Yeah.
issue a permit. There's paperwork involved. So a $75 fee.
Yeah, there's
For
not
that.
too many of those, yeah.
Right.
Okay.
It's not going to affect really too many people. And
So we can add that to the motion to accept with the
so-
$50 and the 75.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna do the best I can to watch this and do minutes so that we can have everything together in order to get it in the paper. I don't know what the time frame is, when, I mean, we got it done, so all it's a matter of just putting it in the paper. I don't know, I know they're always busy, but you'd love to be able to get it
I know we
in.
were talking about the December, having it done for the December meeting, correct?
Yeah. Yep. So that's why over
That's
the
why
week.
we're at a meeting today, making sure we got.
Yep, I'll redo these. I don't have a copy of the well.
Take the well, but it's not
All right,
corrected or highlighted, but you know what we changed.
I'll call you if I,
Yep.
because we're gonna get yeah, I already have the notes. All right, and what I'll do is I'll send them all back out to you to see if I missed anything, or that way we'll have everything tight and ready to go in the newspaper so we can get this done. Now, you're not gonna be here for the 21st.
I'm not gonna be here Christmas week, no, not gonna be here that.
I figured the 28th, people wouldn't be here either. You know,
Yeah.
it's a big holiday weekend, people go away.
Yeah.
I don't have a life, so I'm not going anywhere. I have tuitions to pay, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah.
All right,
So next
Do we have any
meeting-
update on the COVID or any of that?
No.
No, nobody's talked to anybody?
no,
And we don't have any input on the chain of lights, what's happening with that, and if we need, that's,
that's in another week, right?
December
So the
some-
4th?
Yeah, it's December 4th.
yeah.
I don't know anything about it.
Well, I mean, there's places that sell food, there's places that, I mean, there's a lot of activity on December.
Right.
Is it
And
the
how they-
4th? I can't, for
Yeah.
some reason, I think I have a meeting on the 6th, but that's probably something different, yeah.
I think Cheryl had some personal stuff today, family stuff, so hopefully I can get in touch with her and we can at least get some information on it.
Just make sure everything, you know, if they have, somebody serving food or somebody's doing something, that the town knows about it.
Yeah. She's done it enough times, I would think it should be pretty
Right.
standard at this point. Although I don't know how they hit each church or whatever, one of the stops, or even the trolley for that matter, how they're handling, you know, masks and all that stuff, I don't know.
Well, I think people will be wearing masks, but I think there's a couple of new companies in there that were serving food. But she
So
should be
next
on top
meeting,
of
you
that.
said is
21st.
1st. Okay.
The next meeting is when?
21st.
21st or the 23rd?
First, it was wrong on the agenda. Today was the 23rd.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
Very good.